I thought my biodata is secret information. Good afternoon, Professor Coronacion, my co-lecturer colleagues, friends from the University of the Philippines, Dr. Morales and Dr. Mahiwo. In fact, I was going also to ask you whether you are Japanese. Our guests, my dear students, you know, it gives me a nice feeling to be in your midst. I myself was once a lecturer when I was a first college graduate. But my schedule now does not allow me to pursue this profession of teaching. I enjoy teaching young people because I feel young myself. Although now I'm a student, I'm taking up Mandarin.
Wow.
You know, as they say, if you know how to speak Mandarin, you'll be able to, or even Mandarin and Spanish, for instance, you'll be able to speak to practically 80% of the total population of this world. Because China has more than 1 billion people. I was told about this lecture only yesterday. You know, I'm not the secretary, I'm only the acting secretary. And I was reluctant because knowing you people, I don't like to be bombarded with questions that I will be unable to answer. But since my people told me go and interact with the people from the University of Santo Tomas, so here I am. I hope you will forgive me if I am not able to answer all your questions. I will be walking you through to the foreign policy of the Philippines, but I will only be able to give you in general terms because if I go into details, it will not be, 5 o'clock will not be enough. And I will just answer your questions if you have some questions during the Q&A. Okay, I will take some time to give you a briefing of an overview of the national landscape because foreign policy is the projection of domestic policy in the international stage. We start with the medium-term Philippine Development Plan. We have here livelihood, education, fiscal strength, decentralized government, national harmony. 3 million entrepreneurs, this is on livelihood, shall have been supported, giving them loans and helping them become good managers, thereby establishing a deep foundation for a broad middle class. This is speaking of the President's 10-point agenda. 2 million hectares of agribusiness land shall have been developed, making them productive and their products transported to the market efficiently. On education, everyone of school age will be in school in an uncrowded classroom in surroundings conducive to learning. 3,000 school buildings a year shall have been built and a computer put in every high school. On fiscal strength, the budget shall have been balanced with the right revenues collected and spending on the right things ensured. On decentralized government, the network of transport and digital infrastructure on which the Arroyo government embarked in 2002 shall have linked the entire country. Power and water shall have been regularly provided to the entire country. Metro Manila will have been decongested with economic activity growing and spreading to new centers of government, business and communities in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. The Subic-Clark corridor will have become the most competitive international service and logistics center in the Southeast Asian region. On national harmony, elections will no longer raise a doubt about their integrity. The electoral process will have been completely computerized. Peace will have come to Mindanao and all insurgency areas. The divisive issues generated by EDSA 1, 2, and 3 will have had a just closure. Now we come to diplomatic relations and foreign policies. Philippine foreign policy is actually as old as the nation itself. Today, the country has a total of 85 foreign service posts divided into consulates and embassies. Currently, we have 901 personnel stationed at the Home Office and 1,031 deployed abroad. In other words, we have more than 2,000 employees in the Department of Foreign Affairs. More than half of these are deployed abroad. Well, at this juncture, I would like to invite you people, when you have finished your course, to take the Foreign Service examination. If you are fond of traveling. Yes? Okay. By the way, I'm the chairman of the Board of Foreign Service examination. So I chair all your examinations. Philippine foreign policy is guided by two sets of blueprints articulated by President Arroyo, who is the primary architect of the country's foreign policy. These are the three pillars and the 9 realities of Philippine foreign policy, which I shall discuss briefly. The three pillars of foreign policy are the backbone of the country's diplomatic and international relations. These are: 1. The promotion of the welfare of Filipino nationals; 2. The practice of development diplomacy for economic security; and 3. The policy of international engagement for national security. In other words, national security, economic diplomacy, and assistance to nationals. The nine realities. These pillars are further buttressed by what the President has articulated as the 9 realities of Philippine foreign policy, which state that: 1. China, Japan, and the United States and their relationship will be a determining influence in the security situation and economic evolution of East Asia. 2. Philippine foreign policy decisions have to be made in the context of ASEAN. 3. Europe will continue to be an important partner in promoting international prosperity and stability. 4. The international Islamic community will continue to be important for the Philippines. 5. The coming years will see the growing importance of multilateral and interregional organizations to promote common interests. 6. The Philippines being an archipelagic state, the defense of the nation's sovereignty and the protection of its environment and natural resources can be carried out only to the extent that it asserts its rights over the maritime territory and gets others to respect those rights. 7. The country's economic policy will continue to be friendly to both domestic and foreign direct investments. 8. The Philippines can benefit most quickly from international tourism. And 9. Overseas Filipinos will continue to be recognized for their critical role in the country's economic and social stability.